This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Potsy and Tino on the Potsy and Tino Show.
It's the Potsy and Tino Show. Talk the facts and let opinions flow. Laughs, hot takes, and maybe a rant. Two best buds with a mic and a plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg, Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Potcheck, the Potsy and Tino Show. Tino, we always start the show off with a little segment we like to call What's Up With You? So, sir, what is up with you? And go ahead and tell everybody that you want to be out of here by 8:30 tonight.
Well, everybody knows I like to try to get off early, but you do all this, and so we stay on here 2.5 hours every week. But this week, I will leave your ass. So, because I gotta go do something with moms. But not a whole lot. Friday, I fucking felt like a pin cushion, so I went to go get my physical. So to get my physical, she's like, "Hey, they moved the age back for the pneumonia vaccine, so it's like from 60 something to 50." So I got my pneumonia vaccine, and then I had gotten shingles twice. She said, "Yeah, I had to take the shingles vaccine, so I want to get that again." So that's 2 shots. And then she goes, "Are you fasting?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, okay, go ahead and let them draw blood to do those tests too, run labs." So I was just doing it on my left arm, so I had like 2 shots, and then so this whole arm was just fucking like ow, ow, ow. And so that was how, and I was off Friday, so that's how I spent my Friday, doing that, and went and got a new toy. So
you went and got a new toy, but you also on Friday went to see the Beatles cover band, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We went out Friday night. My father-in-law, he's a big Beatles fan. So there's a cover band they're called the Fab Four. They're fucking phenomenal. I've seen them a bunch of times. Every time they come, we go. And so went and saw them, had a blast. It was me, Nicole, and Dad, and we just went and had a blast. And then, got to take the phone. Phone takes pretty good pictures, and took pictures and stuff. Saturday went to work and then got home, and Nicole's like, "Did you get my text?" I'm like, "No." Fuck. Why? So realized that. So I went from Apple. I'm Android now. So I went from Apple. So it was still going. All the texts were still going to like my Apple account because I didn't deactivate my phone off of Apple, my phone number off of Apple. So even though my phone number went to the Android, if people were texting me, it was still going to, I could get it on my MacBook, and it was coming up on my iPhone. So I just had to go in the iMessages and switch it from my phone number to my email. And then I'm getting all my text now. And everybody's like, "Oh, you went to Android. Oh, you got the green bubble." Fuck you. I can I can still do the only thing I'm missing is FaceTime, and I downloaded WhatsApp on FaceTime. Remember, because my main issues with switching was I was going to miss FaceTime, and most importantly is my DJ, because I use my MacBook. iMusic is now on Android, so even when I download, and so it's still hooked up to my iTunes account. So that's how you sign in. So whatever music I download on my iMusic, on my iTunes, on Apple Music, still goes to my MacBook, and I can still upload it into my DJ. So I'm like, well, that was half the battle there. Fuck it.
and easier than you thought it was going to be to do.
Yeah, real easy. So I'm like, and I haven't had problems. I've accidentally, I think FaceTimed you, video called you, because I was still getting used to playing with everything. But dude, the customization on this, doing what the fuck I want to do, going to Zedge and just they've got like every song I could think of I want to download for ringtones. I just put it in, there it is, and it's free. I mean, it's just, you can customize all the different wallpapers. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go back to Apple.
Yeah, it really is night and day. I mean, like Apple's a lot like Nintendo, where when you're a Nintendo fan, you stay as a Nintendo fan like your entire life, but mainly because they lock you into all the little Nintendo things, Mm-hmm. And Apple's like that too, where like you were worried that you weren't going to be able to keep your iTunes and all that other stuff, but they've made it really easy for people to.
I was Android, like it's been a good because I switched before, but now I switched right back, and that was a good 15 years ago, dude. They've come a long way, dude. It's pretty much almost as easy as daggone iOS, dude. It's pretty much the same. It's just this more. I get more freedom to do what I want, and
You
And
really
I-
do, and you know, if you you can actually go in there and update it so that way you've got the developer options on it, so you can actually delete like the software that's put on there by you know, Samsung or Motorola or whoever you actually was. So which one did you end up going with? You went with Samsung?
yeah, I went to Samsung, the Galaxy Flip 7.
So it's funny because my mom went with the Motorola Razr, and she just got back from a trip, and now it's got a big black hole in the center of in the top left corner of the screen, and a big, and it looks like it got dropped and cracked, but she's like, I didn't drop it. It just did that, and it's like, okay, mom, whatever.
What you know, because I was talking to you, it was between this and the Motorola, the Razr,
Right.
but it came down to 3-year and the 7-year, security patch and updates and things like that. And I can do a few more like this. I was goofing off with Nicole. I can do it does interpreter, so I can talk to Nicole in German, and I can do this, and it'll flip the screen and it'll show. I'll say it in English, it'll say it in German here so like that'll help me at work because I deal with a lot of Spanish people, so I can say, hey, blah, blah, blah,
Spanish people.
yeah, I started to say Hispanic and it's Spanish people, Latinos. So, but the cool thing is, I can when I'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" It'll put it on the screen. They can answer in Spanish, and on my side of the screen, it'll come back in English, and so we can communicate that way.
Yeah, it's amazing to see where technology is going. Speaking of technology, today I had to be home, because I was getting fiber internet installed. And so the only one that was available was Frontier in my area. So I went with Frontier. $50 a month for 1 gig up, 1 gig down. I was playing with the speed test earlier, and it's funny because I'm getting like 700 download, but I'm getting almost the full gigabyte upload, which I think is hilarious because up until today I was getting 20 upload.
Right.
So we no longer should have any issues when we're broadcasting, because even when I'm on Wi-Fi like this, it's still getting 10 times the upload speed that we were getting. So it's ridiculous. Just watching myself try to put something in Dropbox that used to take like 10 seconds, all of a sudden takes like 2, and you're like, woo. It's nuts though. And I was telling you that I had to check all my devices. So I had to check my Xbox, I had to check my PlayStation, and I was telling you that like when the Xbox, when I had it plugged in to Ethernet, it was getting like 80 up and 80 down, and it's supposed to get 600 up and 600 down, and it's getting 80 and 80. So I put it on wireless, and now I'm getting 200 and 200, which is better than it was. So I'm like, I'm gonna leave it. So I was talking to you about it off the air, and my PlayStation was getting 600 download, but it's only getting like 60 up, and that was wired as well. So I unplugged it, and it's still getting the exact same. So it's 660, but like the 60 upload, like I was streaming games and stuff like that when I was getting 20 uploads. So 60 upload, I shouldn't have any problems if I decide I want to play anything. So I'm pretty excited about the new internet at the house. Like your picture, even while I'm talking to you, and like we, obviously we broadcast in 720, but like a lot of times it looks a little bit hazy or whatever. And tonight it looks about as clear as it's ever looked. So hopefully those in the audience are seeing the same thing. So I did that. Obviously there was no Mercy on this week, but we might as well jump into the other topic that we talk about before we talk about wrestling, and that's weekly TV and movie watching. So did you go to the movies at all this week?
Yeah,
I did not. So
yeah, I told you I went and saw what's the movie I saw? Weapons.
Yes.
Weapons.
Yeah. I told you there were going to be 2 spots where you were going to laugh, and I was right, wasn't I?
Yeah, there was a couple of the one dude though. I laughed at a few more spots than that. Like when he got pulled over and goes, and I want to spoil. You got anything in your pocket? No. And he's singing. He punched. I'm like, damn! He knocked his ass out. And so that was funny to me. That character, he was funny to me. The drug character.
For a horror film, the movie had a lot of humor in it, and one of the things. Obviously, I've been on different humor and horror panels at conventions, and one of the things that we always seem to talk about on that humor and horror panel is that the same type of serotonin levels happen in a person's head based on horror and humor. So laughing and being scared actually put off the same type of chemical reactions in the brain. So it's interesting that when you combine both of them into one, that it changes it even slightly or whatever, but it always has the same effect, which I always thought was kind of cool. TV wise, there was another horror program that came out, Marvel Zombies, rated TV MA. All 4 episodes dropped.
I watched that whole thing. It was only 4?
Only 4.
I don't think it was more. Okay.
Well, so for the second time now, I was watching one of these Marvel programs on Disney Plus, and when I got to the end of it, it had the little next episode button, and I was like, it said there was only 4 episodes. Did they drop a 5th episode that I don't know about? So I clicked on it. No, it just restarted episode 4 again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? But it's. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but it starts out with Riri Williams.
Sorry.
Hawkeye and
fuck you. I'm still getting used to it.
Yep.
There it is.
Riri Williams, Hawkeye, and Kamala Khan. What did you say?
I was hearing myself. It was feeding back. Yeah, I can hear myself.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'll turn my little bit. How about now?
Check.
I can only hear you once, so
yeah, I can hear me. It drives me crazy when it does. I hate that echo.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. So, but so the 3 of them start off as Nona's in the audience.
Nona,
what's going on, Nona? So they start off and they're all in the car together. And what I thought was funny was Kamala Khan sitting there saying, "Make it so, number one," totally giving a Star Trek reference, which is owned by Paramount in a Marvel program.
How did they get away with that?
What's that?
How did they get away with that?
It's one of those homage things because even in Star Trek Strange New Worlds this season, a character played by Catherine Kane actually sat there and says to the captain at one point, she goes, at some point I'm going to have to tell you the story about me and the time traveling doctor, which is basically a Doctor Who reference,
Gotcha.
She's basically saying that she's the companion character for Doctor Who at some point, which is pretty funny. Anyways, something happens at the end of the first episode of Marvel Zombies, and they don't touch upon it at all until the very end of the 4th episode. So it looks like we're going to get another season of this at some point. Obviously, with only 4 episodes dropping, it really feels like they need to drop more. But it was done by the same people that did What If, which means it was, super high quality in terms of the animation style and everything. And then Marvel.
Well, I told you, I texted you. I'm like, look at the graphics. I said the graphics, but you know what I meant when I said it.
Yeah. I didn't even give you shit for it.
Because I realized once I said it, I was like, maybe that wasn't the right word for it. But
yeah, the animation is what you're talking about. But it was the same animation studio that did the What If series, and they did 3 seasons of that they dropped like 9 episodes per season. So I'm hoping this means that more Marvel Zombies is on the way. And I found out this week that Kevin Feige himself was the one that approved it being TVMA. And he was like, this project, even though it's animation, has to be, and it absolutely did. You're 100% right. Other programs that came back, Law and Order and Law and Order SVU both came back this week. They have not renewed Organized Crime yet, if they're going to, but NBC decided to put last season of Organized Crime on in the 10 o'clock spot. I mean, it's weird to me with the Law and Orders because they constantly change cast members. You know, they keep the same core, and then they always have like one or two new ones. And the way that they write these characters off, Tino, I don't know if NCIS or any of those shows do it like this, but they literally had a guy named Jalen Shaw on the show last season for the last 2 years, right? And they write him out in the first episode this season after he was only in about half the episodes last season, and they write him out by going, "Yeah, I heard he took a job at the 8-8 down the way in Brooklyn," and that's how they write him out. They don't write him out by having him die in the episode or anything like no. They write him out by going, "Hey, he's just going down to another precinct."
Sometimes they do that. They'll kill them off, but sometimes they'll write them off, and or like you'll write them off so they went this other place, and then they'll either do a spinoff or that's because NCIS has a shitload of shows. So in one of their shows, that character will show up in this episode of this show. It's cool.
Well, I also found out that the CW now also has a Law and Order, and it's Criminal Intent Toronto.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't watched it, but I heard that they've got one, so I'm going to have to check it out at some point, I guess. I don't know. Peacemaker, y'all caught up? And,
yes.
And what we were talking about last week came to fruition.
Matthew said, and he said that he had read there, he noticed that the flags were always curled up, and there was two options. One of them was the one they did, and the other one was the Southern Pride one. I thought maybe that was going to be it too, but yeah.
It apparently it got the show in a little bit of hot water with like the Fortnite video games. So his dance was actually in there, and now they're calling the dance move where he puts one arm up, one arm down, and one leg up. They're calling that the swastika dance.
Oh my gosh.
And, I didn't even think about it, but when he actually does the movements, you're actually like, what?
Yeah.
So
I hadn't thought about it either.
So I thought that was a little bit interesting. And then Gen V, like I tell you every week, if you haven't started it, you need to get on it, because they're up to episode 4 now. It's going to be 8 episodes. Obviously, it leads into The Boys season 5, which probably won't come out until next year, but anyways, so that's pretty much everything on my watch list. I think I might go to the movies tomorrow, and if I do, I'm probably going to see that new Leonardo DiCaprio film.
Which one? Which one is that? That's I think. What's the name of it?
It's got such a weird name. It's like I can't even remember what it's called, but it's got him and Benicio del Toro in it.
Yeah, I've never seen the previews for that.
So the reviews on it are phenomenal. So it's one of those films that I feel like, I should go see it. Although, I don't know. It depends on how I feel tomorrow. I'm playing with this new internet, so
You probably won't go.
I might not.
You're not.
So Tino, before we get really started into the pro wrestling stuff, I wanted to bring up some tough news. Ash by Elegance, who used to be Dana Brooke in the WWE and who had won the TNA Knockouts Championship, relinquished the title at Victory Road, which led to a match. And we'll actually go over the results of the entire Victory Road pay-per-view in a little bit. But I want to talk about this one because they haven't really spilled the news as to what happened here. But she relinquished the title, saying that sometimes life throws you curveballs, and she's not able to compete in the ring anymore. and it's pretty hard information to take because when she was in WWE as Dana Brooke, she really was like enhancement talent, right? She was a jobber. She was, like she would get like 2 moves in an offense and then she would lose.
Yeah.
And it was like her role for a really long time. And it really looked like her career wasn't going to go anywhere. And then she went to TNA, became Ash by Elegance, even showed up on NXT a couple times, which got some people going, hey, that's Ash by Elegance? They were like, is it, because they still hadn't figured out, is it okay to call Nick Nemeth, or do you call him Dolph Ziggler? Do you, like all that type of stuff. But she worked really hard and got herself to where, we were pleasantly surprised and happy for her that she won the TNA Knockouts Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like so many before her, she has to relinquish it. She's not able to defend it. And it's just sad, really.
And they still hadn't said why.
No, and to like we kind of joked a little bit and said, well, it might be pregnancy, might be this, might be that. But the fact that they said she can no longer compete, like, sounds indefinite, which means it doesn't sound like it's something good. It sounds like it's either a neck injury, a back injury, so something that just isn't working out for her. Could be concussions, could be any number of things. So it's really kind of sad that we have to take the approach that we believe that it is something injury related rather than something to be excited about.
And I hope it's not, but if it is, I just wish her the best, because that sucks. Like you said, she had just pretty much climbed to the top. She did it. She was there, and now to have it stripped away like that, it's heartbreaking.
And the other, and it's really sad because the other thing that TNA is doing this year is an all-female Hall of Fame. They're putting Mickey James in there. They're putting the Beautiful People in there. So it's, they've even said it's just going to be a full class of female competitors, not any male competitors this year going into their Hall of Fame. So it's just, sad to see such a sad moment when we've gotten all these really cool moments going on recently. Although there was another piece of information, like another piece of news from TNA as well. Apparently, Gail Kim got herself in a little bit of hot water this week, talking badly about Riho, and she doubled.
Talking badly about Riho, or was she defending Riho?
So everyone says that she was the one that said like the negative things about Riho,
Okay.
and it. Like I didn't even really go into all of the details of what actually got said or what happened in it, but it looks like Gail Kim doubled down on her statements, basically saying, hey, I wasn't really talking junk about her, but like if that's how you guys take it, stop being mouth breathers on the internet or whatever, so it was pretty funny.
10 toes down.
What's that?
10 toes down.
So yeah, it pretty interesting information there. And then it was officially announced on SmackDown, but they kind of had started this whole talk last week on the internet about John Cena versus AJ Styles one more time in Perth, Australia. And to me, Tino, what is up, Mr. Helios? I thought you were coming over. But it seems like it's the first time John Cena spoke out about his opponents, what people want to see, because so many interviews had gone by where both him and Randy Orton had talked in the past about how they've never asked for specific opponents. They've never
Right.
talked about specific opponents. They basically do their job as they're told to do it. And in this situation, John Cena went on social media. And apparently at WrestlePalooza, when
that guy from Georgia, what do you call him? Remember that?
Well, see, I want to talk about that. That's one of the things I was going to say here. But while Brock Lesnar was coming down to the ring, there was like a giant "We want AJ" chant, or AJ Styles chant, because like obviously AJ Lee came back that night too, so you don't want to just sit there and say "We want AJ," because they could be talking about AJ Lee. But during the Cena match, they were cheering and chanting for AJ Styles, so it made John Cena stand up and say something about it, and immediately it felt like Triple H was like, "You asked for it, you got it." And even AJ Styles, when John Cena said, "I think we heard the fans. I don't pick my opponents, but like it's kind of hard to say that we shouldn't do something about this." And then AJ Styles was like, "I'm free, let's do it." Speaking of AJ Styles, officially announced that next year will be his final year wrestling too. So it'll be interesting to see where he's wrestling.
What do you mean?
Is he still going to be under WWE contract after January? Because
that's go to TNA.
I mean, if I were AJ and TNA could afford him, I would do one more run in TNA.
They still be WWE, right?
Technically, yeah. And in fact, it might be something where Triple H just loans him to TNA. So, anyways,
if he does that, would he be paid through WWE or TNA or both?
So, my understanding of the way that their current situation works is if an NXT person works a TNA event, they get extra money from TNA to work that event, but they're still being paid by WWE. So it's it's like they're getting a double dip. So like if I were a TNA person, I would absolutely want to work NXT because NXT is probably paying more anyway.
Yeah. Said somebody on TikTok, I forgot to send it to you, talking about they're not really paying the TNA. He's like, I'm a content creator and I make more than the NXT people. I'm like, oh shit.
Well, so Elena Black, who used to be Cora Jade in WWE, got in a little bit of hot water this week for talking about how she's made more money in 2 months on OnlyFans than she made like her entire run at WWE.
And Jasmine Nix, when she left, that's where this guy was getting his stuff from. Jasmine Nix was saying, how much.
Well, Jasmine Nix, she was hit by the injury bug a lot. Almost like Tegan Knox, where every time you thought she was going to make a step in the right direction, boom.
Right.
I know. Bully Ray was talking this week about how with Jasmine Nix, she didn't go through a standard wrestling school, so she never really had the same love for it that other people do. And like let's be real. If you want to be a professional wrestler, I mean, we had All American Package JCB on here, just a couple weeks ago, and if you really want to be a professional wrestler, you've got to love it. You can't half-ass being a pro wrestler unless you're Brock Lesnar. And I've said a million times, Brock Lesnar does not half-ass when he's there. Like, he's only there 30 days a year, but those 30 days, he is so knowledgeable of the business. Like he doesn't take certain bumps because he doesn't see the value in it, or he sits there and says, "Hey, I want you to do this to me." So, like Drew McIntyre, when he did the Claymore kick, like, in the Royal Rumble, he was the guy that picked Drew McIntyre to be the guy who's going to win, so it's interesting, that type of stuff. But yeah, Jasmine Nix, I was going to bring her up too. She obviously is not renewing her contract when it's up with WWE. And yes, I'm sure she will be some sort of content creator, because this is the thing that I can absolutely say about someone like Cora Jade or Elena Black, as she is now. When you are that type of person, you were nothing before you were in WWE. WWE made you who you are, right? I mean, like, she's going to get booked as long as she actually performs at this point, because she obviously has name value. But she has name value because she was in WWE. You know, like it's the same with anybody. Matt Cardona can go anywhere. He obviously showed up on NXT last week, which means concurrently he's showed up in like GCW, TNA, AEW, and WWE because he won't sign a contract anywhere.
That's what they all do. That's what Cody did. That Drew did that. I mean, it's smart.
Yeah. No. Well, it's what you have to do if you want to make this your living. You know.
And
but
get your name up, so when you do come back, you come back for that money.
Oh yeah, well you get value, you know, like but when it comes to like Elena Black, do I think that she's going to be out of wrestling? No, I think she's gonna be back in wrestling. And I think that she's gonna work somewhere that, you know, doesn't care if she's got an OnlyFans account. You know? I know that there's a Jacksonville based promotion that doesn't care if people have OnlyFans accounts. But you know, like if she's making as much money as she is, she's making it because she became a star with WWE.
It depends on what she's doing on that OnlyFans. I don't think WWE has anything to do with that.
Well, no, they don't have anything to do with it. But her name value went up because she was on TV every week.
Not everybody watches WWE then. Again, so
I get that, but all right. When Mandy Rose got fired by the WWE, she immediately started something like an OnlyFans account. I don't think she actually had an OnlyFans account, but she had something called like Fans Only or something like that. She said she made like $1 million within 60 days. And it's because wrestling fans are willing to support, especially if they think they're going to get to see the goods. Right?
Mm.
And Elena Black, so far, from what I've heard, pictures that I've seen on the internet, whatever the case might be, it's bikini photos, things like that, you know, like aren't too far off from what she wore as her outfit to the ring anyway.
What you're saying, I'm saying that WWE, yes, I can see that. I'm saying it ain't all because of WWE.
Oh no. I mean, it's because she's a pretty girl. You know, and we've talked about that at length. I mean, I don't know how she said that, you know, or how people backstage actually said that she wasn't ever going to be anything, because she had the look, she had the ability. The only problem that you know, and she said it on the Chris Van Vliet show where she said, you know, I get called injury prone all the time, and I had one injury and then I had a miscarriage. It's like, oh, oops, you know, like I guess she wasn't really injury prone, but you know, anyways. Want to talk about Monday Night Raw from last week?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So they started with Seth and Cody in the ring, selling their crown jewel match, which obviously will be for the crown jewel championship, which is, you know, the once a year thing that they do. Cody won it last time. Now, you know, he won it.
Is it a belt or is it a ring? Or is it
no, well, they get a ring for winning, but they get the belt that day.
Okay, because I remember when he was saying something about that. He said, "Yeah, I'm the champ." He had a ring. I'm like, I thought they gave him a belt. But
yeah,
okay.
there was a really cool looking belt that, you know, they put on that day, but then they get a ring to go with it. The promo, did it sell the match, which is only 3 weeks away?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Why don't you think so?
I mean, you're going to watch the match because they've got something. I mean, they mentioned their past, you know, their grievances and their past matches, but it didn't. It's like, why are we doing it again? You know what I mean? It would make more sense now if it was Cody and, I mean, if it was CM Punk and Seth. Okay, they've got this thing going, right? The only thing that's selling this is you get a champion versus champion. I guess that's what sells it. I mean, for you, why do you think it sold it?
Well, I think that both men actually put their hearts into the promo. So it, you know, like when
the promo was good. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes, the promo was good, but it didn't sell the match. I think, what was it, Dusty Rhodes, or was it he was telling?
Show me the money.
Yeah,
or it's like where's the money?
Yeah, was it Paul Heyman he was sending out there trying to do? So it was one of those things. It was a good promo, but it didn't make me want to watch the match. Yeah, because they've done it before 3 times, right?
They have, and I liked how Cody actually brought that up and said, every time you've been across the ring from me, I'm always the one that gets my hand raised.
Yeah.
And I think that right there just made me think that Seth is walking out with this, other championship. Obviously, he also has help because the Bronze can run down at any time and cost Cody the match because Triple H booking method for a champion, if you're a heel champion, means that there has to be run-ins in that match. So
yeah, I was also saw something interesting too. They were like, well, then now the Bronze have to win the tag team champions, because can you imagine that if Seth wins that match, right? And the night after, so you got him with his world title, the whatever that title is, God bless you, and then Braun comes down with the tag titles, and then you got Becky, so they've got all the gold. So for optics, that would that'd be good. That one more time up.
Yeah, it's been done. So, but I agree. I think the Bronze actually still need to look scary and menacing, and that means they need to win.
They need a title, yeah. Because you're right, they hadn't really been winning. They've won a couple, but if they want to keep them strong and make them look like strong and keep them up, they need to get the titles at least once.
And who are the Raw Tag Team Champions right now?
Not New Day, Judgment Day.
Okay, yeah, and if they really obviously they're going down the road of Finn versus Dominic again and whatever. So if they really want to make Finn into a babyface, putting him up against the Bronze is the perfect way to do it. So I like that idea. No disqualification 6-man tag match happened, which was the War Raiders and Penta versus the New Day and Grayson Waller.
He killed that fucking destroyer. He did. I thought he broke his neck.
Yeah, what did they call it? They called it the not nuclear, but they called it avalanche, an avalanche destroyer from the top rope or whatever. Dude, I thought the pile driver was illegal in WWE.
I don't think that was a pile driver. That was the Canadian destroyer. What do they call him? The Mexican destroyer.
Yeah, but
it pretty much ends up being the same thing. And how can you control or protect? There's only so much you can do.
Right.
That quick, that fast, from that high?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Then Dominic Mysterio tries to get Finn's help, and Finn says no. So then he gets JD McDonough to say that he'll help, and JD's like, okay, I'll go talk to Pierce. And he's like, no, I already did it for you. You got a match against Rusev.
My favorite was at the end where he was getting his ass beat, and Dom acted like he was getting in the ring, and then when Finn got in, that's when Dom got in.
Yeah. Stephanie McCare gave a promo after winning the women's title. They gave her an A on Bleacher Report for it.
I'm happy for Stephanie winning the title. Her promos aren't going to be as strong, and it's because of the language thing. Mm-hmm. So I think that's part of being a champion. You got to be able to give strong promos, and she gives good promos. I'm not taking it away from her, but she's still kind of struggling. She's still learning, and
well,
then
it's the language barrier.
Yeah, so I don't like. They do a lot of just the same thing with EO. It's a lot of backstage. They didn't really do promos, right? So I don't know if she had a mouthpiece. Like if they give her a manager and just let her wrestle. Maybe you're like bring Golden Ice up or something like that as a manager.
Well, at this point, I wouldn't bring Lola Vice up as a manager.
Well, as an example, I don't know.
But no, I know what you mean. I like you've got people like Ricardo Rodriguez you could bring back.
Yeah, I don't bring somebody. Somebody.
You could bring back Armando Estrada.
That would be funny.
He'd be a great manager, except you automatically would be heel with him, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see her needing. She does like for reference only. She's like a Chris Benoit, where she's so good in the ring that you really don't care if she gets on the mic. But like in today's WWE, she needs to be on the mic.
Yeah. That's my only problem. That's my only concern. Not even a problem. It's a concern,
Well, Mr. Helio said Nikki Bella wasn't a good promo either. So, Asuka and Kyrie interrupted Rhea Ripley and Nikki Bella, who were congratulating La Primera. Another funny segment. I mean, like, Asuka yelling at Kyrie to follow her is just hilarious.
And every time she sells, she actually is killing her. She gets on her knee. She gets down on the floor. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, I thought this one was funny because, Rhea actually tried to stop Kyrie to talk to her about it. And she's like, Asuka's my friend. You shut up. Oh, okay. Bayley versus Roxanne Perez.
I'm waiting, and I knew that's where that was going to go. She flipped.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a Dr. Jekyll and Messiah. It's going to be like, I don't know how they're going to do it. Like, remember that one week she came out, she's Bayley. This week she came out, she was more of the ding dong, ding dong hello Bayley. So I'm wondering how they're going to.
She's gonna have the
like I said, yeah. She's gonna have
on the one side, the other side's gonna be the head shaved. Like, they're definitely doing a two-faced gimmick with her, which is interesting. She's talking to herself. She's doing all that kind of weird shit in the back and whatever. But it's going to be interesting to see what they end up doing with it. But yeah, we knew it was coming. The whole asking Lyra to be out there with her, and Lyra's looking at her like, what is wrong with you? Like last week you yelled at me, and she's like, no, I didn't.
Gaslighting her.
Bleacher Report said that Perez has been a workhorse for the WWE. Wade Barrett revealing on commentary during the match that Prodigy has tied LA Knight for most matches in 2025 with 38.
Wow.
Pretty crazy. And the funny thing about that is we're saying, wow, 38 matches in 2025. When I remember like Dean Ambrose's last year with the WWE, he did like 260 matches or some shit. And now we're talking about like 38 is a big number.
Yeah.
So pretty wild. Jimmy Uso asks Cody Rhodes to try to talk some sense into Jay.
My favorite is when Jay looked crazy. Jay was backstage by himself looking at the ceiling. I'm like, what are you doing? Standing in the middle of the floor looking at the ceiling. And then when Jimmy comes up, he goes, and then this is where I thought he was going to turn heel. When Jimmy's like, oh, you're going to blame me? And Jay did that whole, and kind of like, and then he caught himself. I'm like, oh. And I thought that he was going to turn on him in a match.
So I think what's going to happen is somehow the Braun Browns are going to get told nobody from the Vision is going to be allowed at ringside during the Perth match, and Jey Uso is going to turn there, and he's going to super kick Cody, and that's going to give Seth the win.
Because you've noticed in backstage segments, he kept looking at Cody's belt every time Cody wasn't looking.
Yeah, but that would mean that Jay has to go back over to SmackDown.
You know they do the damn draft and all this. They'll figure out a way.
So then we got LA Knight versus Jey Uso. Rusev versus JD McDonough, which ended with Rusev submitting JD McDonough. McDonough, like he always does, looks like $1 million in the ring with that giant ass head of his.
I'll still joke about his giant heads, but he still has my respect from wrestling with a fucking punctured lung. Whatever he did when he in that and finished the match, dude. Dude, he's got my respect. I can't even talk shit about him anymore.
Did I tell you that wrestling got ruined for me this week? So remember when Charles Robinson took the spear from Goldberg?
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Well, he talks to Chris Van Vliet and he's like, "Did you really break ribs?" And he's like, "No."
On the internet.
He's like, I texted the picture over to Goldberg, and Goldberg was like, "Do it. That looks awesome." So LA Knight versus Jey Uso. Uso defeated him via pinfall. I look at this and I'm like, what are they doing with LA Knight? Is it because they got him locked into a contract now that they're like,
they're gonna do the same thing they did with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? They're gonna fucking wait till last minute, and they're not striking while he is white hot right now. And I don't know why they won't pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's interesting because I really do feel like LA Knight has picked up the heat again. You know, like for a while he seemed to be cooling off after when he was white hot, he was white hot. But now I think like he's cooking again, and they're just not doing anything with him.
I think it's going to cause him to go back heel. Heel.
But if they're going to turn Jay heel, should they turn LA Knight heel too?
I think they're going to turn LA Knight heel, and he's going to join the Vision.
I mean, he could get to the point where he says, if you can't beat him, join him. So
he's got a problem. He's got a problem with Jay. I think he's going to turn heel. I think he's going to be the one to turn heel and join the Vision.
That'll be interesting. Rhea Ripley versus Asuka is your main event on Monday Night Raw.
Asuka,
hell of a match.
Rhea ends up looking like a Smurf.
Oh my god, dude!
You see that one at the end where she was with Lillian Garcia and turned her blue.
I have seen people get misted before. She was like when they dropped the blood from the brood down on, like in terms of how coated she was.
I don't even. How did she get that much like that blue that quick? There's only so much Asuka, only so much food coloring Asuka can have in her mouth.
And she goes through the whole match and then she just everywhere. But I mean, she was coated head to toe. And yes, she did look like a Smurf, which I thought was hilarious. But we finally get the Asuka heel turn as well.
What do you think of the whole Kairi's saying? Because she's kind of like, she was hesitant and then she finally did it. Do you think so? Is she a tweener? Is she going to be healed too, or she's going to be doing it because Asuka tells her to, and then she's going to end up fighting Asuka?
Well, she's definitely going to be the Virgil to the $1 Million Man right now.
Right.
You know, like she's not going to like doing it, but she's going to do it. And at some point, I think she fully embraces it. I don't foresee her not being full heel with Asuka at some point. Now she's going to be stuck in the middle of it for a while because in fact, if I had to guess, there's probably a segment going on tonight's Monday Night Raw where she goes to talk to Io and say, I only did it because Asuka told me to. And, like Io will be like, just stay away from me or whatever. And it's going to cause tension with those two as well. And then, of course, Asuka's going to see Kairi later and be like, why are you talking to her? We don't like her anymore, But two big takeaways here. Obviously, like I said, we got the Asuka heel turn and Kairi following her, which, was bound to happen. But the fact that they didn't finish the night with the Braun Brawns versus Jey Uso and somebody, or LA Knight and somebody, I think was pretty telling that WWE knew that we're we're getting a little tired of that. Like, it's getting a little stale when every week you're seeing the Bronze versus Jay and Jimmy, or Jay and LA Knight, or LA Knight and Jimmy. Like, it is getting a little old at this point, you know?
Okay.
And it's going to be, you know, the other thing that was pretty interesting is that obviously, you know, after their match at WrestlePalooza, you know, where CM Punk and AJ Lee?
Ooh.
You know, like I know that they're doing the whole Seth versus Cody match at Perth, but like, where are they? You know, like, are we going to get Becky versus AJ at Perth? Are we going to get, you know, or are they going to do the United States champ versus the Intercontinental champ? You know, and then we get Julia versus Becky, which would be a hell of a match.
Champ versus champ.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So, let's go on to Dominite.
You skipped one. You skipped a big one.
NXT?
Yeah.
Well, I figured we'd just talk about No Mercy.
Okay. Yeah, good point. Good point.
You know, because having 2 NXT shows this week makes it, well, 3 if you count TNA, or 4 if you count TNA, because they had their Thursday show and then Victory Road on Friday. So, Brodito versus the Gates of Agony. Is there ever going to be a time that Brodito isn't fun to watch? Like, I don't know who decided to put the 2 of them together, but they are entertaining as fuck.
And that finisher is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. Now they do have to set it up properly to make it work, but you're right. Hangman Page versus Lee Moriarty. What was the point?
Moriarty. Again, it's one of those matches that we talk about all the time. Why are you going to give me a match and I know the ending?
Willow Nightingale stands up to FTR. So they had this cool segment where Cope basically gets written off TV, starts getting the internet wondering whether or not he's going back to WWE. No, he's not going back to WWE. He's filming the final season of Percy Jackson for Disney Plus, and then he's going to come back and probably finish his career with AEW. But he's being written off TV because he's got to go home and take care of Beth.
Well, I think that a lot of people were hoping like while he's away, he can come back and have that one match with Cena. And I'm not saying that I don't think they want him to do it. Well, they probably do want him to do a run, but that even if he just came up for a one-off to match with Cena.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you know, it is possible that Adam Copeland's contract is up in October, like everyone seems to think. And he might just be not under contract right now with a handshake agreement with Tony Khan saying, you know, when I do decide to come back, I'll come back to you. But who knows? You know, like if he's been out with injury, so Tony Khan has been pretty petty about those injury tack-ons and keeping people longer than they want to be there. So I don't really know what's going on there. But Willow Nightingale, she slapped Stokely.
Slap the shit out of Stokely.
And then of all people to come out, who is it, Tino? It's Jet Speed. Might as well just be called the new Job Squad.
I don't know. They ran him off. Why would FTR run from them?
Well, because they're chicken shit heels now.
But Jet Speed?
Trust me.
Really?
Yeah, they don't even have to run off from them. They just walk quietly.
It is Jet Speed.
It's sad. The Don Callis family versus the conglomeration, and of course, Orange Cassidy returns.
It was actually a good match. It was an entertaining match. Let me put it like that.
Yeah, and you know, every one of the competitors involved is a good wrestler. You know, even Orange Cassidy, he's an undervalued wrestler. You know, he's
Yes.
it was fun. I am going to point out I had to watch most of the stuff as highlights because for whatever reason, HBO Max didn't have Dynamite on it this week.
I don't ever watch it on Dynamite. I catch it on my YouTube TV. On the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes. Claudio versus Powerhouse Hobbs. I think that they're going a little too far.
Powerhouse.
I think they're going too long with the Ops versus the Death Riders. There's like I'd much rather see Claudio turn babyface and actually have a good run. I'd rather see Powerhouse Hobbs going up against someone from the Don Callis family, like Murderhawk. You know, like I don't need to see Claudio versus Powerhouse Hobbs anymore.
Well, there's just still it's because I think when Shibata comes back, they're still got to be feuding with them because I think there's going to be a Shibata Garcia feud, and so it kind of makes sense to kind of keep that going because he took Shibata out. So when Shibata comes back, so they're now they've mixed in Hangman, so I think don't be surprised, and it probably will happen because Tony Khan, I think Moxley's going back for another run at that belt. Eventually.
I know. Women's championship match, Statlander versus Mina Shirakawa. So we got to see some titty. Statlander defeats her by pinfall to retain. Good match. Didn't have any belief that Shirakawa was going to win. Harley Cameron celebrated with her backstage. That never grows old. I don't know why she's dressed up like a cat all the time, but
I think that's just her now. That it's that crazy, you know.
Yeah. Wheeler appeared before the match to talk to Statlander again. Like no means no, Wheeler. Just no means no.
No means no. My favorite was when she went in and Harley. It was at the end of that match, and Harley and they all came out to try to get her to join. Harley was in the ring with her, and then all of a sudden she was like, she let Wheeler raise her hand and do the whole. And they did that whole fort. I'm like, she's about to fucking clothesline the shit out of him because she kept looking at him, and she got right up in Moxley's face. I mean, in his face, and right away, I'm like, God.
Yeah. Except I don't need Moxley right now.
You know what's about to happen now?
No.
She's teaming with Darby Allin, and they're facing Wheeler Yuta and Mrs. Roddy on Wednesday. What if it's a setup?
I mean, that's what
she turns on Darby and she ends up joining them anyway. You know what I mean?
I mean, it is kind of looking that way. And the saddest part about it is it looks obvious. You know, it looks obvious. Yeah. So now we get to talk about. Well, we'll talk about Victory Road.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch it, so.
Oh, is it 8:00?
Yes, 8:00.
That's loud as shit, by the way. Zach Wentz defeated.
The phone's muted, but the alarms they don't mute.
So they start with a triple threat match, and it's Trey Miguel. Zach Wentz wins, but they have now signed for TNA Cedric Alexander.
Oh shit!
So he is officially on the roster. What does El Mesias want with Steve Macklin? Let's see where the okay. So the system: Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, and JDC with Alicia Edwards defeat the Order 4, which is the Great Hands and Special Agent O. I don't know what any of that means.
I haven't watched TNA, and so I hadn't watched it. I hadn't.
Well, we then got NXT's Kalani Jordan versus Li Ying Lee, who, if I remember correctly, used to be someone in WWE as well. I think it was Xia Li that she used to be.
Okay.
And Indy Hartwell was the special referee, or maybe she's just a referee in TNA. I don't even know. Kalani Jordan. Oh, they won the Battle Royal, so later on in the night they actually went and had a match. But then we had Matt Cardona, the hometown man, and Matt Cardona versus the Nemets. I don't even know who the hometown man is. During the match, we go backstage, and it appears that Joe Hendry's been attacked. So
said he appeared and he got his ass whooped.
hometown man and Matt Cardona beat the Nemets. Mike Santana defeated Ridge Holland. Where the fuck has Ridge Holland been?
Rich Holland has been on Evolve. I don't know if you've been watching Evolve. I have. He's on Evolve. He's been a lot. He's been heavy on Evolve.
Well, he just lost to Mike Santana. Mustafa Ali defeated Moose. Winner earns Hardcore War advantage at Bound for Glory. Joe Hendry defeated Eric Young.
EY.
TNA Tag Team Champion Matt Hardy defeated AJ Francis in a tables match. I guess this is leading up to the Hardys versus Team 3D.
I did see a clip of that, and then they were in the ring. They were supposed to, they have the signings, they had the table there and every way. So they did their talking, and then they were like got ready to sign it. And Bubba's like, Devon, he said, rip up that contract. He said we shake. It's a handshake deal, which I thought was cool. You don't ever see that. I don't need a contract. You shake my hand, and that's what's the deal. We're men about it. It's a handshake.
Next up was the actual match between Kalani Jordan and Li Ying Lee.
So going back to Elegance by Ash, she forfeited the title that night, and then they had that. So
then they had a battle royal, and then they had this match.
Okay, so Kalani won the battle royal.
Correct.
So the lady she
two of them were the final two. They were the final two, so they get to face each other later.
So Ash wasn't supposed to defend the belt that night.
I think she was. I just don't. Maybe no. I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess she wasn't.
The person she was supposed to defend it against fought the winner of that battle royal. Is that how they did it?
No, they said that the two of them were the last two in the battle royal. So I guess you're right. I guess she wasn't going to have a match. So there was a really awkward spot in this match, and Kalani Jordan jumped from the ring apron to where it looked like she was supposed to wrap her legs around her head and then do a Hurricane Rana. And instead, Li Ying Lee's leg gave out, and they both just crashed to the ground.
Oh my God.
And it was not pretty. And, this obviously was the same night as SmackDown, where we have another thing that we'll talk about. But yeah, this was pretty rough. But Kalani Jordan ends up winning and winning the TNA Knockouts Championship here.
Okay.
The TNA International Championship, Steve Macklin versus Frankie Kazarian. Frankie Kazarian actually won the title. Leon Slater, the X Division champion, versus Myron Reed. Leon Slater holds onto the belt. Although afterwards, Javon Evans challenged Leon Slater for the X Division title.
Oh shit! He said, "I can't get a belt on my brand. I'm gonna come to your brand like everybody else."
And yeah, I'm gonna take your secondary title.
We don't have titles,
but I will tell you, Leon Slater is super young, and Javon Evans obviously is 21 years old. This is going to be this is going to be a banger. 100%. It's gonna be crazy. All right, so now let's see SmackDown results. Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman start the show. The Braun Browns come down, and that causes Randy Orton to come down. Street Profits versus Mellow Don't Miz. This is for the #1 contendership of the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and it looks like they just decided they're going to drop the whole Street Profits breakup angle.
That's so stupid.
Why even tease it?
Because they wanted to. I think they were trying to see how the crowd was going to react.
I mean, we all know that Montez is going to be the Shawn Michaels of that.
Yep.
You know, I guess he's going to be the Otis from the Otis and Tucky show.
Otis is still no. Shawn Michaels don't. Otis and Tucky were Jannetty and Jannetty, so you don't want to do that.
They were Anvil and Anvil.
Anvil and Jannetty.
There you go. The Profits win this match, but it was, and you know what's weird about it is that the way that they won this match was with the idea that Mello and Miz obviously been having issues. Are you playing with your colors now?
Yeah, there it is. I didn't like the other one.
It was like you had two teams that had been arguing with each other, and this time only one of the teams argued, and that's the team that lost.
Yep.
And obviously it's gonna turn Mello against Miz, and it's just
it's in that situation.
Well, Mello becomes the one that gets cheered because the Miz almost never gets cheered.
That's my thoughts, Tim.
I don't know if that makes him the babyface, but he's going to get cheered in that feud. Julia and Kiana James versus B-Fab and Michin. Why? C-.
Yep.
Why? We get this instead of getting Solo Sikoa wrestling a match.
Or Jacob.
Yeah, well, Jacob at least got ring time. Sami Zayn versus Javon Evans. Javon Evans is like the first one of these open challenges that we didn't know who it was, but we kind of knew who it was going to be.
Yeah.
And Javon Evans shows out.
As he always does. That boy's bouncy.
But is anybody better at the 2.99 second kick out than Sami Zayn?
No.
I don't know how he does it, but it's like just as and they're not even scooping the potatoes with the hand on the three. And Charles Robinson was talking this week about people are always like, oh well, you should count three. It's like, well, if I know that's not the finish, I'm not counting three. So, but yeah, Sami Zayn is absolutely the best at the 2.99 kick out. Hell of a match. Sami Zayn is on a roll right now. And obviously, I mean, he's win. Obviously, it's going to be someone is finally going to get one up on him, going to win, going to win to take the title off of him. But he's being used, and he's being used well right now. It's just a good run for him, even though he's Canadian with the U.S. Open Challenge. So, anyways, they gave it a B+. Here's my problem with SmackDown. We ended up having a Drew McIntyre yelling and screaming. He's in a boot, and Nick Aldis is like, I don't know why you're in that boot because the WWE doctor said you didn't need it. And then Jacob Fatu comes out. Jacob Fatu gets the biggest headbutt done to him like ever, and he just turns, smiles, and then turns back. And obviously, it's because he's Samoan, and you can't headbutt a Samoan, but you know that motherfucker hurt. You know that motherfucker hurt.
Nah, it wasn't a JD headbutt. JD headbutt to kill somebody. That's assault with a deadly weapon. You going to jail for that? He going to jail for that. He hit somebody.
It's like an actual anvil, you know.
That motherfucker can't but a semi truck make it stop.
We then get. Oh shoot! This thing. So SmackDown looks like it was 4 total matches.
You forgot one.
I know. I'm getting to it. The final match, the main event, the triple threat match, women's championship, Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill, and once again, they don't pull the trigger.
There's a couple things in that match. We talked about.
Oh yeah. There's some things.
The Jade. There's and Nia was
when John Cena broke up the pin. But you can't see him.
So she threw Jade into the ring step and busted her open. That was
not just busted her open, dude. It was like her entire eyebrow was gone.
So did Jade blade, or was that the hard way?
That was
I
hard way.
was trying to see how she threw her into the steps. I couldn't see.
She threw her in, and I think she caught she went into the actual metal, but you know how it's like that corrugated metal for those ring steps? I think she caught one of those little edges. And
look at she fucking eye.
I mean, she threw her, and her face went straight into it. And you're right. She's lucky it didn't go in her eye. But immediately, like when she moved from those steps, there was a puddle.
Blood. Yeah.
There was a puddle. And I was like, who got... And then I was like, it has to be Jade. It's not like Nia, took a bump there. And, I mean... the gash made it look like she had a whole nother eye socket.
Yeah. Second, how long has she been wrestling? How long Nia been wrestling? How the fuck do you forget to kick out? The ref had to stop.
Well, like I said, John Cena broke up that pin.
She didn't scoop it. She just went 1, 2, and she went.
She bounced and stopped, and then she's like 2.
And then after she said 2, then Nia goes, "Oh yeah, bitch." How do you forget to kick out?
So I don't think she was actually supposed to get pinned by Tiffany there. And I'm not saying that it's Tiffany's fault because, instinct is, oh, are we going to the finish? Let me go ahead and pin her now. 1, 2, 3, right? But Tiffany then gets up and then does the moonsault and gets the 1, 2, 3. And Jade's nowhere to be found. So I know that they were running close to the end, the 10 o'clock hour.
I think she was out.
I think so. I think so too. I mean, she came back in the ring and actually did the black hole slam on Nia Jax. It was pretty devastating. But I mean, like it was just crazy watching the blood just like pour out of her head. And the referee didn't put gloves on this time, which I thought was a little bit.
She did.
Did she before or after she actually tried to sop up the blood?
She walked over it and saw Jade was bleeding. She was trying to, tell Nia to go on. And as she was talking to Jade, she went in her pocket. She started putting on gloves while they were on the floor.
Gotcha. Okay.
She was looking at Jade before and then she put on the gloves and then she moved Jade's hair back.
So I got to tell you, and we got 15 minutes before you want to be out of here. So I'm going to make this quick. This was the worst outing from Nia Jax since her return. She looked slow. She obviously wasn't taking care of her opponents. And then, like you said, she actively didn't kick out of out of a pin, that like you got to figure out a way to get your shoulder up.
It's almost like she's, I don't want to say complacent, but that she's getting, everybody's praising her for like, oh, you're better than you used to be. You're not the old Nia Jax. You're getting better, da da da. So now she's kind of like, yeah, getting complacent, and now she's getting sloppy again.
Yeah. All right, we got one more show to get through. 15 minutes to do it. Here we go. Javon Evans versus Josh Briggs. Evans finally got his win. Solid match. Josh Briggs is looking good.
Yeah.
Like I'm impressed with him. I never thought he was going to be anything when he was in that tag team. So
no, I knew he was the star of that tag team. I knew.
Well, he was the star of the tag team, but I didn't think he was ever going to really be anything special.
No.
Sol Ruka versus Jada Parker. Speed Championship. Sol Ruka defeats her. This match didn't need to happen.
I actually thought Jada was gonna win. I thought Jada was gonna win, and so but they chose to keep up her feud with Lash Legend. So there's that.
Weaponized steel cage match. Jordynne Grace versus Blake Monroe.
Dude, that was match of the night. that match. Blake Monroe showed me something. It's kind of like when Edge came out, he did that match with Mick Foley. He was no longer the pretty boy. We hadn't seen that side of Mariah May / Blake Monroe, right? I don't think we've seen that. Not like that.
Well, okay, maybe not like that, but I mean, obviously her feud with Toni Storm had some. I mean, she beat her with the shoe and busted her open.
Dude, they were backdropping each other on diamonds. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
That's worse than Legos.
I don't know, man. Almost nothing's worse than Legos. Jordynne Grace gets her win back on this, as she should.
I think she's getting ready to move up, too.
Well, we've been saying that for a couple weeks now. Actually, a couple months. Ethan Page versus Tavion Heights for the North American Championship. Tavion Heights is not ready. He's getting there, but the right call was made. Ethan Page should retain the title. And of course, El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr.
Did they say they're doing title for title? Is that what they were insinuating?
I think so.
So Ethan's going to win that because NXT's got to steal all the fucking titles.
It is true. It is true. NXT Women's Championship, Lola Vice versus JC Jane.
That match, I thought Lola was winning that match too.
I don't think the JC Jane experiment's over yet. Nobody thought she was gonna win when she won. So now I think that they're trying to make her credible.
Yeah.
So, NXT Championship match: Ricky Saints versus your champion Oba Femi.
What do you think? The right man went over.
It was time to get the belt off of Oba Femi.
Yep.
But Ricky Saints is 35 years old. He's a solid hand. He's a good talker. He's really good for NXT.
So you're saying he's too old to have to, because he's 35?
Not saying he's too old. Just saying that why was Javon Evans too young? And Ricky Saints is 35. We all wanted Javon Evans to win the NXT championship, but then Ricky Saints wins it.
He didn't have that name brand. Remember, we talk about name brand. Name value. And that's also, I think I sent to you too, the TikTok. They were like, WWE has always been big on homegrown, but look at all their champions. They're from other companies. They're not homegrown.
I mean, we can say that, but Cody Rhodes is homegrown. Seth Rollins is homegrown.
But they never would have put that title on Cody Rhodes if he hadn't left and did what he did and came back. So that didn't really count. He's not really.
No, I agree. I agree. Yeah. I mean, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. It's tough for me to say that Ricky Saints was the right guy because I did think Javon Evans should have been the guy.
Because you're always so if he's the guy, then he's so small, he's not believable. Put that in thing with Darby Allin. So you're saying that was David and Goliath too. Javon Evans, about 100 pounds against Obafemi. You saying Javon Evans, right? Let's take it over to AEW.
Well, hold
on. Can't do it.
Well, hold on.
Let's hear this.
The whole thing I'm going to say about it is that Ricky Saints isn't much bigger than Javon Evans.
But you just said you'd rather see Javon Evans. You believe Javon Evans, but you don't believe a Darby Allin.
I felt that the story was better for Javon Evans to beat Obafemi, and then they just didn't do it. They didn't pull the trigger. So, to me, putting the belt on Ricky Saints is, like you said, it's the name brand recognition. He already has a name. He already has a fan base. And it allows them to finally sit there and go, okay, now we can't fuck up Obafemi's call-up.
They got to do it. They got to pull the trigger.
Well, and the perfect way to do it would be to have him show up on SmackDown to do the open challenge and have him win the U.S. title in his first night.
So you ready to peel up the Sammy already?
I'm not. I think that you go another 4 or 5 weeks with him winning, and then you call Obafemi up at that point, and then have him win.
Okay.
Solid show. It seems like I have to go back and actually watch some of these matches. But other than that, I feel like I'm tapping out tonight.
All right, folks. You can catch me on all my socials. I'm on Instagram, SC Tino. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on the TikTok at Tino R. Gray. You can catch us on Twitter, Potsy and Tino. Facebook, we're the Potsy and Tino Show. We're here each and every Monday night, 7 o'clock. We're almost here at 8 because Rob was going to go to dinner, but I had shit to do, so he said, okay, we do 7. So we're here each and every week at 7. Please subscribe, like, give us thumbs up, share this, buy our shit. Thanks to Adam's House Cat, as always, for the years of service to us. You can still buy the wrestling song on iTunes for 99 cents, 99, and I can still buy it because I still have my Apple Store and Apple Music. Go, Rob.
You can follow me on all of the socials at either Potchak, Rob Potchak, or Rob Potsy Potchak. Yes, I was having dinner with my aunt who was in town from Alabama. So yeah.
Oh, Alabama. Oh, sorry. I had a Forrest Gump flashback.
Funny. So Rob Potchak, Rob Potsy Potchak on just about everything on Twitter at Potchak. Episode 426 in the books, and we will see you next week when I think that we have to make our predictions for Crown Jewel.
Oh shit! And maybe Helios will come get you so you can go see if you can find some wrestlers.
Well, if you notice, I was just drinking water, so.
Oh, yep, getting ready for
it. All right. Folks, thanks so much. We'll see you next week for episode 427.
Damn.
Peace out.
Ready? Ownership, contributing to Potsy and Tino.
For the Potsy and Tino Show.
Thanks for watching.